Yes, Discover. How you doing? Good to see you. I know I've been on other subject, but let me get into it today. People are being possessed. People are putting spells on people. The first time that I realized that we was going through this transition of good and bad, the bad people already knew, which is the bad churches. God said in the last days, I'm gonna show my true people. I'm gonna show the bad church and I'm gonna show the good church. And it has to be revealed, it has to be shown. So the bad people are the ones who came out doing things to the good people. And it's so severe. I'm in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida. I even see cars where they're proving the devil worship. One car I saw Chucky and the knife, and on the knife it had good people written on the knife, as Chucky was. But my story to you is when you're in a relationship and you may be with some people who learn how to be demons. I've done some research and I found out that I dated somebody who was associated with a church that teach how to do demons. I didn't realize that, but I was trying to figure out why all these things was happening to me once they brought me to Florida. And they end up with a church that seems to be building itself in abundance. They got a bowling alley, they got a clothing store, they got a movie theater, they got things going on. And usually when you learned of just the guidance and what they're supposed to do is just to preach the word and give it to you and allow God to continue. But I'm not here to talk about the church and God to bring anyone down. I'm here to find out what's going on. And if my story seems to touch you, please leave a comment of what you went through. It's very important. I have seen other YouTubers recognize people are being possessed in the streets who are so easily a target because they so vulnerable just in so many ways. And sometimes they'll do whatever for money. Sometimes they would do whatever to survive. And that's where we're going through right now. We're going through these days that we have to survive. And even we're learning how our government is doing things to survive, to make it through. They've always done it. It went down to Caesar. It went down to Babel when they tried to be better than God, knowing how to do this and how to do that, and they never succeeded in the end. So as I begin to recognize, and I didn't believe when my ex told me that they did black and white magic, and I'm like, oh Lord, I can't believe this. But it found out to be true. So as you begin to know people and learn these things, people will expose themselves. But the good thing that God allowed you to get the knowledge, because if I get the knowledge, I would not know what church to avoid, what people to avoid, and to look at the things that I see. In the beginning, I was telling you how people was following me with phones. And it's only because of some of the past things you did in your life that they probably could utilize to grow off of. But what the devil tried to do is to take you down, to make you look like nothing. And this is the time that you will have to fight for even your own recognition. So as you begin to recognize the things around you, I begin to talk about it, then people begin to follow and recognize the people that were following me. And once they knew that they were being recognized, all of a sudden the flock left. And the things that were occurring didn't occur anymore, strange things. And now what I have now it was predominantly black. Now I have white people following me. And mind you, when I studied this church, it was a church that's in Jacksonville, but the church originated in South Carolina. And in Jacksonville, predominantly black over there, but in South Carolina, predominantly white. And the ex that brought me here, which is another ex that's associated with the other ex in the future that I found out, that they worked together. It was something that they planned, something that the plan, whatever they did, is working out for them. And then I began to ask myself, well, why are these things happening? Why are these things occurring? Because that person is trying to bless the dark side of people who really don't care about what's going on, whether it's good, whether it's better for you or your family. And as I begin to see my family be around these people, some of them are white supremacy, because we're in Florida. It's that type of state, basically. One of them states where predominantly you have the rich white, and the battle is even more for God, because God allowed you to see these things. And as today, I'm making this tape. I was like, oh, I'm going to make a video on YouTube about it. But I even made it today because yesterday I was going down an avenue. Now, when I first noticed people putting spells, I worked at one store. And the person was telling, what the police was telling the managers in the store, if you see homeless people around, call us, because that's when a lot of things was occurring and happening. And other people would show up and disturbance would happen that wasn't good for the uniform or the neighborhood. But they would never call. They were feeding them, giving them food or whatever they wanted. And it became a question to me of what's going on. And then in the store, as I was working, they were allowing other workers to do whatever they wanted to us and have no question. So at that point in time, I had to call a higher up, chain of command to look over and see over things. That chain of command got fired. So I knew it was time for me to leave. And it's only because the people who are higher up is associated with the people who are down. And that's one thing we're discovering. And one day I was at the bus stop and there was this white guy behind me and he was doing something. I was like falling asleep. And there was points, like as soon as I got on the bus, that I would fall asleep. I'm not tired. My body doesn't feel overwhelmed. Why am I sleepy? And that's part of the spell being placed on you. So then I had to begin to open my Bible. I had to begin to pray more and be in touch with the light so that I'll have the light around me. But we are discovering that people are following you and putting spells on you. People are being possessed by demons, and these demons are doing whatever they want to do to get to you. So you have to be careful who you're around. You have to be careful who you want to associate. You have to be careful who you work for. Today I was supposed to go to an interview at a uniform that, that I had issues with. And I was blessed with things, with an apartment, with a nice car and everything. And the people were jealous. And every time I noticed when I worked for this uniform, I would end up losing my job, but somebody would come and they would believe that person, then they believe me. So I end up being the one who has to leave. So today, I'm not going to be stumbled, because if I go back, that's 4 times. That's 3 times that it happened in a row for the same uniform. And why am I going back is the question. Why can't I find something different is the question. And even though the person may be different, I don't know what's going to enter into that uniform. I don't know what's happening. That when I stay there for a couple of months, things are fine, but then one person will walk in and all of a sudden my whole life collapses around me. Even the things that I built. And people will have you think it's God doing it when God is telling you it's not me. I'm showing you it's the people. And sometimes it be the bad people who are preaching and letting you know these things because they don't want to reveal who they are. So they may come from a different uniform, but they're all associated together. And the target is you. So I better yet teach you and prepare you on why we don't make certain steps, because if I go back, you remember, it's like when you are saved from an issue, you don't walk back into the same door when you know the door is going to slam on you. I don't have time to think whether it's going to slam. It happened 3 times. Things were perfect, but somebody came inside and changed things. 1, somebody was saying something about me that was a lie. 2, the guys would try to feel on you and the managers acting like they didn't see anything. 3 was damaging my property, and they're not letting me know it was damaged until I was off or close to being off. So what is the 4th? What is there to prove? The recognition is there, and if you don't recognize, you're walking to the same wall. The only thing I have to prove is why did I not go? I did not go because of the past. And if you have not learned from your past, how can I go into my future? So I've also been directed to other jobs. So maybe that's where the opening is. Even though the person over me may have more say so, but you must understand where we've been, what happened to us, and why I cannot no longer trust the situation of working for that uniform. And people going to look at you, people going to say, you're not doing what you're supposed to do. I am. I'm still, preparing resumes. I'm still doing this. I'm still creating other avenues of access that can be possible if you allow me the time. But if I allow them the time, I'm only going to be there for a temporary gain, and the gain won't be me. The gain will be them gaining, because I've been there 1, 2, 3, one more time. This will be the 4th time, and there's something in me that's telling me, trust me, and believe in me, and believe in yourself, believe in your experiences, and don't let no one tell you what's for you. For what I have for you, you shall see. And then as I started to recognize that people were doing things, even people placing spells on people, I began to learn and to study how to fight these spells, that they can no longer put a spell on you. And they know this, and they're aware of this, and they get upset when they know they can't put a spell on you. So what is the next avenue? What is the next thing I need to do? I need to get you in isolation. If I have you in isolation, guess what? Nobody can protect you. If I have you in isolation, no one can protect you. So then you have to be aware of your isolated areas. Should I be here? Is this for me? Or am I going to go through the same thing when something down is telling you, no, you need to go here? What you're doing, trust in yourself, believe in yourself. People would start to have you doubt yourself. I know I am better than that. That is probably why they weren't respectable, because deep down inside, God already knew that you could be in a better position. But you were being tried by other people. And sometimes you have to make recognition of what's best for you. Right now, I'm pulling with a force that's telling me you're better than this. I got something better for you. I got a better plate for you. But will you believe in me? Will you believe in yourself? Do not allow yourself to distrust in other people saying about you or what you're capable of, when I know you're capable of more because you've done more. And that's where I'm at today. And when I finish with this video, I want to leave a link of some places you can get a resume done to better help you get your job performed, and other ways to keep a job, other ways to be a recognition of, I don't need to be at this job anymore because of my experiences. Let me try something different. Let me try something new. And that's where I'm at today. I've done many positions: health position, teaching position, construction position, as a helper, and restaurant positions. I've done many things. And counseling positions. I've done many things. And when you got so much educated possibilities in you and you have competition, you have to be aware of the competition that is unknown. And the only way to be aware is to go out there and take a chance on what you know you're capable of. Now, to get back to the spells, I was able to see that yesterday, besides the man who, that happened a couple of months ago, was trying to put a spell, when I first recognized they were putting spells on people and doing things, because we're at a spiritual warfare right now, they call it, where the bad is attacking the good. And it's crazy because I don't go to church like that. I believe in God, but I don't go to church. I'm not a holy roly, you know? And so that's the crazy thing about it. But I believe in doing the right thing. Even if some of us chosen people are put in position where there are people who may be linger to the bad church, and you was around them and you did good, but they weren't willing to do good with you. Now you captivated a lot of people to doing good, but they walked and continue to walk where they want to walk, with the bad, with the different. But you can differentiate who you are. You know who you are. I'm good. I am of good. I can do good. I've done good. But they're trying to make good people look bad, and bad people look good. And that's the spiritual warfare that we are at. So if anybody is feeling like I'm feeling today and putting up a stand to say, no, you must believe, I know myself, there's nothing going on, I don't have anything wrong with me, I am capable. Allow me to show you who I am, while everybody around you got better positions, you want to take me backwards, but not understanding how I feel. And even though you didn't touch on that matter with them, this is how you feel. But once you have accomplished your goal for the day, at the end of the day, when you see them again, you're going to know how to let them know how you feel. But guess what? You're going to have what? Concrete evidence of what you've done for the day. That was positive, to make sure you were able to move in the right direction of where you want to be. Because maybe where God is sending you is not where they're sending you, or what's best for you, because the experience is there. And if you keep going through the same trauma, why go backwards? And you was willing to give it a chance. Everybody telling you give it a chance. No, that was your choice. But that's never my choice. My choice is to start a new chapter, close the door, start a new chapter. I done lost too much behind this uniform. Not the uniform itself, but the people who work for it, the uniform. And most likely it's a franchise, not a corporate. And because that's one thing I begin to study. Begin to study whether you're working for corporate or franchise. And then you can begin to study who's doing what for who. Who's representing. So yesterday, and I can tell you that I know that I'm in a stronger strength today, and I know that you can battle and fight the enemy, because yesterday as I was walking, I was able to notice that somebody was behind me. As I was walking, I looked behind me. I didn't see nobody. But then I heard a voice, and this is what it said. Earth, wind, and fire. And that turned me around, because that sounded like a spell about to be put on somebody. So I'm looking like, and there was a lady, all of a sudden she had all black. She was white. Like I told you, all of a sudden white people were following me. And when I studied this church that would teach people how to be demons, in South Carolina, they were white. But it was at the ex house who helped the ex and the mama fix their house. These were these church people. And I'm not talking against church people. I'm revealing what God is revealing, that man trying to hide the good and the bad churches. But there are good and there are bad churches. And we're at a spiritual war right now. You gonna have to figure out whether I want to do good or bad. But remember, in the end, who won the war? The good always won. The bad had its chance, because they have to be revealed. How would you know how to fight the bad? So it was revealed when the guy was putting a spell on me months, I can say years now. It's been years. But I've learned. And I don't allow people to get too close to me. I'm very watchful of who's behind my back for too long and what they're doing. And to stare into my eyes. I don't let people stare into my eyes. We can have a brief talk, but there's a certain clear stare that they give you when they're trying to perform a spell on you. And if I could find that video, trust me, I'm gonna have it in the link. And take the chance to open it and visualize and see it. And know that it's not you who's calling you names, who's calling you hoes. Because I was hearing the homeless man was trying to call the security lady as a hoe. Can I take you out? And at that point in time, I knew something was wrong, because I've been here for 20-something years and I've never seen that. But when I saw it, I knew something was going on. Something was beginning to take place, and that was a spiritual war. And most of the war is a disrespect to you. Because I disrespect you, if I can bring you down, if I can break your confidence and finding a job that's for you, or finding an apartment that's for you, or having the car that you have that I've taken away from you, and you think that God took it away, when it wasn't God, it actually was man, because God let you know it wasn't me, but I'm exposing the enemy who done it. And it may be the one who's come back to preach to you. So be aware of these things, I tell you. So yesterday, what was clear proof that I won the battle is when I heard earth, wind, and fire. And I turned around, and it was this lady. She had black pants on, a black overall shirt, no sleeve, just the straps, thick straps, red hair, like auburn hair. It was up, it was back. And you could see that she was in the sun, because you could see how the sun gave her body tone. So she's been out doing a lot. And when I looked back, she looked at me, she stopped saying what she was saying. And then when I went up and I kept walking, she disappeared. I didn't see her no more. But she disappeared in a place where I had issues. I rented a room, and somebody was trying to get me to do things that I did not want to do as I was in that room. I would go in the room, I would lock the door, and I would not come out until it was time to come out, or they went to work. And I had the place by myself. They wanted me to not lock the doors. Why would you have me in an apartment and tell me, as a woman who is sleeping in a room, not to lock the doors? Trust me, I locked the doors because I was no fool. And I also eventually ended up getting my own apartment in the same place by explaining my situation and getting help to make sure I had money to get the apartment. So, was I capable? Am I capable of making my own change? Yes, in certain situations. But people will make you look unable because we're at a spiritual war, and the war is to take everything that is about you and erase who you are, your existence, so they can exist, to take over your livelihood, to take over that your capabilities of what you can do so that they can do it. Just before I got here, I saw two cross ladies. They were in the chairs. You know the chairs that you use when you, the walking chairs. They were sitting on both sides. I'm saying, these ladies are crossing the kids off the school bus. And I have nothing against the handicapped. I know our government is trying to help the handicapped and actually got people working to cover checks of disability. And God is showing you, don't be naive to what's going on. These ladies should not be doing that type of job because some of these kids like to run into the street. What's she gonna do? Get out her chair and try to run? And they were heavy set. I took a picture. I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. One lady had her kid ready to walk the street. She looking at me and I'm looking like her like, this is something new. But we already know that in Florida, our governor is trying to promote woke, in which the bad people are here to do whatever they want, whatever they feel. So we are definitely at a warfare. But what it feels good to know that you are in a battle that you can win because you're winning. The only time you lose is when someone higher up lies on you or cover up. But you will succeed if you believe. Until next time, BS. And come on out here and discover.